All right, Coach, so 2 big wins, conference wins this weekend. Just kind of reflect on what y'all grew from that.
You know, I thought we played well this weekend. A lot of, my motto now is the strength in numbers. Collectively, if we start from the defensive end, really getting after it, playing really hard, even just going back and watching film, girls diving on the floor for loose balls, scrappy, making it really tough for our opponents to score on. So that's good, and I think our defense is getting better, our rotations are getting better, and that's what we look for from the coaching side. And I thought we did a decent job rebounding this weekend as well. Offensively, probably didn't shoot it the way we wanted to or have shot the ball in the past. And that's something you can't harp on it, but we'll focus on a little bit this week as we go into our practices, making sure we're just getting a few more shots up, and that ball feels good in our hands when it's going up.
Obviously, Cameron was a little bit scrappier of a team, and you kind of talked about how do you respond to a team that's playing like this, the constant fouls? Just how do you keep on putting up your shots and just not get discouraged by the fouls?
One is we got to get better from it. I thought their scrappiness, we turned the ball over 6 or 7 times with that run and jump that they were doing late in the fourth quarter. So we're going to watch it as a team today and make sure we get better from it. You do have to keep that ball moving quickly. You can't hold it or you're going to get trapped. And you have to be able to be a playmaker, passer, things like that when they're scrambling and running and jumping. At times you want to go and score quickly, and then there's other times you still want to stay organized in your offense. And again, I go back to that fourth quarter. I think there's a lot of opportunities for us to learn from their style. When Cameron got behind, then they started picking us up full court. So starting with our point guard and then all the way through. So we're actually going to use that to work on this week.
And how do you carry this momentum from these 2 games into Angelo State and Kingsville?
Winning conference games is big at home, obviously, but going on the road, if you want to do something special, you have to win conference games on the road, and you have to be tough as nails in the Lone Star Conference to walk away with the win. So we start with Angelo State, who's very skilled offensive team, and a lot of new faces on their team, a new coach as well, who was the assistant last year at Angelo State, and we're going to have to defend really well down there. And then Kingsville, one of our farthest road trips, one of them, I guess next to Western New Mexico. And they're holding their opponents to about 59 points a game right now, which is really low. So we're going to go against 2 teams, especially Kingsville, that are really scrappy. But the mentality and the mindset is, to me, it's more about the mental toughness side of it than anything, because you're going to go into a hostile environment, and it's not going to be the friendly confines of the First United Bank Center anymore.
Yeah. What do you find is the hardest part of being consistent and consistently winning? I mean, we've done it over the past couple of years as a team and getting into these Elite Eights and things of that nature, and also this season losing a game. And so what do you find is the hardest part of continuing to do that?
Yeah, and there's nothing hard in winning, but like you said, the hard piece is, or the challenge maybe should we say, is continuing to get better through the winning. And we talk about being our own worst critic. So we're watching film on ourselves, and we're making sure that we judge ourselves off of our standards, our goals that we have set for ourselves even early on in the beginning of the year, and not just did we get a win or did we get a loss. And you stay hungry, you stay humble, and you kind of put that hard hat on, and you just go to work every single day trying to get better. And that's the mentality that we take on, especially starting today. We had the weekend to recover a little bit, and now it's back to work again, refocus, get ready for Angelo State.
And as we kind of look at all of the forwards and sit-ins that you have, we on the broadcast call them the quadruplets, but now it's become the quintuplets because of how well Abigail Spurgeon has kind of gotten herself in the offense. And so if you could expound on how she's shown what she, just as a freshman, how she's gotten better over the season.
Abby has taken huge steps since she first stepped on campus in August, and really, to me, the biggest area she's improved on is the mental side of it, her mind. And we always say with freshmen, it's the speed and the strength of the game that always is a challenge for them when they step in, because they're no longer in high school and they just can't jump over the top of people or pass over the top or shoot over the top anymore, so they have to think the game a little bit more. With thinking, their mind gets sped up. But as you're now seeing too, is the more she plays, the more she relaxes, the more her mind slows down, and she can just go back to being a great basketball player that she is. And she does a tremendous job of finishing around the basket, and you can see she's athletic, and she does a great job of protecting the basket on the defensive end too.
Speaking of, you guys seem to just be going down low a whole bunch against Cameron. Was that just this game kind of preparing for them, or is this kind of just a mentality for the team?
We should have an advantage every night in the paint, and we think, in the paint, the highest percentage shot, that's the shot that we want to take. So whether it's a post player or a guard getting in, touching the paint, we're going to try to get that ball there first and kind of work inside out. We've always had an inside out mentality, whether it's through the post or our guards. And we have tremendous post players that can score and finish around the basket. So for us, that's an advantage. And we want to make sure that we're challenging the defense, their post players as well. And hopefully we get them in a little bit of foul trouble so we can get into the bench. But we do have, as you were just saying, we have the depth with our post players, and so that's an advantage for us night in, night out. And I guess we're a fool if we choose not to use them when they're good.
And then kind of reaching back to both games against Midwestern and Cameron, both had post players that do a very good job, whether it was Leah Smith for Cameron or her last name was Mercer Lee. Her first name is escaping me right at this point in time. But the zone really kind of didn't allow them to kind of get going within that game, and also both got into a little bit of foul trouble. And so scouting-wise with the zone, how does that help be able to kind of break down the ability of those forwards and centers?
Yeah, it does. And you can see our zone is pretty mobile and active, and we want to be disruptive in it. And whether it's, we don't play a zone to give up threes, and obviously we don't play a zone to let them score in the paint. So night in and night out, especially if you're playing in that zone, you're going to be guarding different people that come through. But both of those post players that we saw this weekend were mobile. They needed a little bit of space to score the basketball. They like to put it on the floor going into their move. So I thought we did a really good job of just being disruptive, not allowing them just to catch it and lay it up, which that leads into the Angelo State. They have a post player, Moore is her last name, who's really good and probably one of the best post players in our conference, efficient when she catches that ball. She can score easily around the basket, so we'll have to take that same mindset into this next week.